Hello everyone. Today we are going to study first theorem of first lesson of mathematics 2. The statement of the theorem is, if a line parallel to a side of a triangle intersects the remaining sides in two distinct points, then the line divides the sides in the same proportion. Means, see here, line L divides line AB and AC in point P and point Q respectively, and which is parallel to side BC. Then AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. This is the statement. From this statement, first we write down the given. The given data is as follows. In triangle ABC, line L is parallel to line BC. Line L is parallel to line BC. Then next, line L intersects AB and AC in point P and Q respectively. Line L intersects side AB and side AC in P and Q points respectively. Then comes next part of the theorem, that is to prove. What do we have to prove here? We have to prove that AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Means AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. For this, we go for some construction. What is the construction? Construct sec PC and sec BQ. We have to join this P to C and B and Q. Now see dear students, because of this construction, we have got now different triangles in this given diagram. But we are going to concentrate only on three triangles. Triangle APQ and triangle PQB, and third triangle is triangle PQC. First, we'll compare only two triangles. Can you see dear students? Triangle APQ and triangle PQB means only these two triangles. Just see, the bases of the triangles are AP and PB. They are linear, means they are on same line, and at the same time both the triangles have common vertex Q. So if you draw perpendicular on this side AB, that can be considered as height for triangle APQ as well as triangle PQB. In short, triangle APQ and triangle PQB, they both have common height, and we know one property that if two triangles have common height, the ratio of their areas will be equal to the ratio of their corresponding bases. So for these particular triangles, if we consider this imaginary height common, then the bases will be AP and PB respectively. So let us start writing the proof. Triangle APQ and triangle PQB have equal heights. Therefore, area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQB is equal to AP upon PB. Means areas are proportional to their corresponding bases. Now we are going to consider the another combination of the triangles. The first triangle is triangle APQ and another triangle is triangle PQC. If you draw the perpendicular line from this point P on segment AC, then that imaginary perpendicular line can be considered as height of this triangle APQ as well as triangle PQC. In short, both the triangles have equal heights, and as we have done in these two triangles, same in these two triangles also we can use the same property, that is, if both the triangles have equal height, then areas of the triangles will be proportional to their corresponding bases. So area of this triangle upon area of this triangle will be equal to AQ upon QC, which are the bases of the triangles. So let us write down this statement. Area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQC is equal to AQ upon QC. Before statement we mark as 1 and next statement we mark as 2. Now another combination of the triangles once again we are going to consider. See, triangle PQB and triangle PQC. These both triangles are in between two parallel lines. As these two triangles are in between two parallel lines, they have same height. At the same time, if we consider PQ as base of the triangle, triangle PQB and triangle PQC, they both will have common base. So, both the triangles have common height as well as common base. What is the formula of area of triangle? Area of triangle is equal to half into base into height. Because of this, both the triangles will have equal areas. So, let us write down this triangle PQB and triangle PQC have equal base PQ and equal heights as PQ is parallel to BC. Therefore, area of triangle PQB is equal to area of triangle PQC. This statement we mark as 3. Now consider equation 1 and equation 2 once again. In the numerator of left hand side, we have triangle APQ, and in the numerator of second statement also we have area of triangle APQ. Means numerator of both the left hand sides are equal. And just now from this third statement we proved that area of triangle PQB and area of triangle PQC, they both are equal. Means left hand sides of equation 1 and 2, they both are equal. So let us write down that. From equation 1, 2 and 3, area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQB is equal to area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle PQC from 1, 2 and 3. As left hand sides are equal, right hand sides are also equal. So from equation 1 and 2, we can write AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. That was our aim. So we have proved here AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC, which was the aim of this basic proportionality theorem. Now we are going to understand the converse of this basic proportionality theorem. What is converse first of all? See, any conditional statement consists of two parts. The part after if and the part after then. Part after if is said to be antecedent and part after then is said to be consequent. In basic proportionality theorem, the given part, that is antecedent, was if line is parallel to the side and then that is consequent. The consequent was AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Now, in its converse, antecedent will become consequent and consequent will become antecedent. Means the part after if will go to the part after then and the part after then will come to the part of after if. So, what will be the statement of the converse of basic proportionality theorem? If a line divides any two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, then the line is parallel to the third side. Means line L intersect side AB and side AC of triangle ABC in points P and Q respectively, and the ratio is also same. Means AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Then the line and the side, they are parallel. Means line L is parallel to say BC. Now we are going to understand property of an angle bisector of a triangle. The statement of the property is the bisector of an angle of a triangle divides the side opposite to the angle in the ratio of the remaining sides. Means if this is the angle bisector of an angle C, then that angle bisector will divide side AB in the ratio of two remaining sides. Which are two remaining sides? AC and CB. Now let us write down given and to prove part for this statement according to the diagram. Given in triangle ABC, bisector of angle C intersects seg AB in the point E. This bisector of angle intersect AB in point E. Now this is the angle bisector. So by this notation I have shown that it's an angle bisector. Now what is our aim? To prove AE upon EB is equal to CA upon CB. AE upon EB is equal to CA upon CB. For that, we go for some construction. What do we do? Draw a line parallel to ray CE passing through the point B. Here is point B. Through this point B, we are going to draw one line which is parallel to this angle bisector CE. This is the parallel line to this angle bisector CE. Extend line AC so as to intersect it at point D. Now at the same time, we have to increase this line AC, which will meet this newly constructed line in point D. Now because of this construction, we have got here one another triangle. Remember, this line AC only is extended, that's why point A, C and D, they are collinear. Now we shall start the proof. See, ray CE is parallel to BD and AD is transversal. If we consider AD as transversal, ray CE is parallel to side BD. These two lines are parallel. Now we are going to consider two transversals. First transversal is transversal AD and another transversal is transversal CB. First we consider transversal AD. Now when we consider this transversal AD and as the lines are parallel, we can say this angle ACE and angle CDB, they will be corresponding angles. So as the lines are parallel, corresponding angles are congruent. Hence ACE is congruent to angle CDB. So let us write down that in our proof. So ray CE is parallel to ray BD and AD is transversal. Hence angle ACE is congruent to angle CDB being corresponding angles. Remember, we have to write down the reason. And at the same time, we'll mark this statement as one, as we are going to take it in the next part of proof. Now, another transversal we are going to consider is transversal CB. Now, because of this transversal CB and these two parallel lines, we'll get these two angles as congruent. Why is it so? Angles ECB and angle CBD, they will form alternate angle pair, and if lines are parallel, alternate angles are congruent. So, considering BC as transversal, angle ECB and angle CBD, they became congruent as they are alternate angles. But ACE and ECB are equal, they are congruent. Why? Let us come to the diagram once again. ACE and ECB, they are congruent. Why? What is the given condition? CB is the angle bisector. Angle bisector means angle, it will divide given angle into two equal parts. So, angle ACE and angle ECB, they are congruent. So, that we have written here, and that will mark as equation 3. Now, see dear students, we have written here three statements, 1, 2 and 3. Now see, statement first, second and third we are going to combine now. In third statement we are saying ACE is congruent to angle ECB. This ACE and ECB are the left hand sides of equation 1 and 2. ACE and ECB, they are congruent. As left hand sides are congruent, the right hand sides will be automatically congruent. So, that will write in statement 4. So, angle CBD is congruent to angle CDB, that will mark as equation 4. Now, let's once again will come to diagram. Just now we said angle CBD and angle CDB, they are congruent. If we concentrate only on triangle CBD, we have angle B and angle D, they are congruent. As they are congruent, it will become isosceles triangle. And therefore, side CB and side CD will be congruent to each other. See here, in triangle CBD, angle CBD and angle CDB, they are congruent. And one theorem which we have learnt in 9th standard was, sides opposite to congruent angles are always congruent. So, these two sides, that is side CD and CB, they are congruent. Why? Because they are opposite to congruent angles. So, we will write it in the proof. As these two angles are congruent, so in triangle CBD, side CB is congruent to side CD. Now see, we'll consider now triangle ABD. Now in triangle ABD, this ray CE and BD, they are parallel to each other. So can we use here basic proportionality theorem? So according to that, AE upon EB will be equal to AC upon CD. So that will write, in triangle ABD, segment EC is parallel to segment BD. So by basic proportionality theorem, AE upon EB is equal to AC upon CD. Now once again we'll come to the diagram. Just now we had written the ratio as AE upon EB is equal to AC upon CD. But statement number 5, we had proved that side CB is congruent to side CD. side CD and CB are congruent. So in the ratio, can we replace this CD by CB? So same we are going to do here. We are going to replace this CD by CB from equation 5. So our ratio became AE upon AB is equal to AC upon CD. Means in a triangle ABC, if CE is angle bisector of angle C, then CA upon CB is equal to AE upon EB, or AE upon EB is equal to AC upon CB. This was angle bisector theorem. Remember, dear students, another name for angle bisector property is angle bisector theorem. Once again, we are going to consider the converse with the help of diagram. See, in triangle ABC, D is on line BC, such that AB upon AC is equal to BD upon DC. Then ray AD bisects angle BAC. Means if it is asked in the problem whether the given ray is angle bisector or not, in that case we have to use the converse of angle bisector property.